Welcome back to a new Anno 1800 episode around stamps. I've already done so many stamps, right? We have done stamps for all of the old world production, new world production, cities from farmers to investors, cities in the new world. And then recently I covered the Arctic. I showed you stamps for cities in the Arctics, stamps for all of the production in the Arctics, even the stamps for all of the plateaus. Perfect stamps to have the plateaus done like this one, right? Where you have all of the mines that are clipped and you have exactly the production, the workforce that you need. So what is left? Well, Enbesa is left, of course, right? We need to do stamp for Enbesa. We're going to look at all of the production in Enbesa with a lot of different stamps. And as a bonus, I'll also show you a city stamp. By the way, if you're wondering to show you all of this, I'm using actually our latest series, the Anno 1800 Expert Difficulty campaign. Don't hesitate to check in the video description below if you want to see it, because we really went from zero to finish, right? We had nothing. We started right from scratch, and I showed you how to get up to, the Skyline Tower, how to get all of the investors, skyscrapers. We finished completely Manola, right? We have a huge Manola city with tons of production, etc. We did it all. So don't hesitate to check it, because as I'm recording this episode, we're actually finishing that. We're going to have one more episode in that series before we move on. But yeah, let's start with the production. The basic one is the Wanza woodcutter, because the reality is for Enbesa, you're gonna need a new type of wood. Instead of timber, you're gonna want Wanza timber. So I made a simple one, over here. You have one warehouse, you have 3 of those Wanza cutter, and they have a good coverage. As always, they need some trees, but that will be fine. And of course, you just need to extend it to wherever you have something else. Then you're probably gonna want to start making some Sangha. We have this nice rectangle over here that has 4 of those Sangha farms with all of their fields, these 5 fields, and 1 silo. All of it inside. It will require water to be perfectly working, right? And this is why you have those 2 canals over here. So for example, if we had this river slot over here, right, we would just connect something like this, and then all will be fine. But what's really good with this one is, you can extend it, you can put it more, you can put more on the side, more on the other side, right? It works really well. So Sangako, it's a good one. Then you're probably gonna want to put those Sangako into a dry house. Let me show you a huge one for dry house. You probably won't need as many, but this is the maximum, right? This is the maximum number that you can put. We're talking about 44 buildings, and like with most region, there's several buildings that have the same size. So we have the dry house, but we also have the linen mill. This is exactly the same size. And the reality is probably you will never need that many dry houses. So it's good to take, one trade union and use it to have several production, especially by doing Control T to go into your items. You can start looking at which items will support both of these. So for example, if I look over here at the extremely loud bell, this will support both the linen mill and the smokehouse. So it's a great item to put into both. But if you really want to, you can easily just delete these ones and you're going to put only those smokehouse. Or similarly, I have the exact same layout. Let me show you in 1 second. For the linen mill, right, you can just put only linen mill if you want. Talking about this linen mill, when you have them, when you've made some linen, you're gonna want to transform it, right? And first and foremost, you probably want to transform it into those clothes. So that's what you have over here. So it's a different size of building, right? But that's going to be able to make some of these clothes over here. We're talking about 26 of those buildings. So again, you probably won't need more. There is another building that is the same size. It's this one over here, right? As you can see, it's exactly on top of each other. So if I delete just these, for example, and I leave, so you can have the embroider on one side and on the other, the luminaire, right? Because again, you probably won't need so many. And then you can push that even further, because there's a third building that has the same size. So over here now, we have a mix of embroider, a mix of luminaire, and a lantern standsmith. So again, if you find some items that can be used for all 3, that is perfect. Then we have the tapestry and candle. This is again 2 buildings that are sort of the same size, and so you can mix them. So you can mix them into one layout, or you can obviously dedicate a layout to it, right? If I, for example, delete all of those 3, which were Chandler, I can put, 3 more of these, replace them easily for more tapestry loom, right? Depending on which one you need more. The tapestry loom and the chandler both into this one. Then we have the tea spicer over here. This is a lot. I'm not gonna count them. I think there is, you're never gonna need so many. But if you do, here it is. It's ready for you. It's ready for you. Now I'm gonna tell you how to get those stamps, and also we're gonna talk about bonuses. We're gonna talk about some of the productions that I didn't make stamps for. But if you're still here, please smash the like button. It takes a lot of time for me to make all of those stamps, make them available for you. So, a small like would really help a lot. But yes, let's talk about the What Kitchen. This is actually quite a big building, as you can see. So we're not fitting that many, but you won't need that many. I mean, this is huge already in terms of production. We're talking about more than 20 already. So don't worry, you won't need more. But yeah, I got you covered with this one. Now, before we talk about population stamps, I did want to cover why I didn't cover things like the linseed farm or the teff farm, spice, basically all of the farm. There's 2 reasons. The first one is, some of these you definitely shouldn't be doing in Enbesa, in my opinion. Spices, you should be doing it in the New World with the Hacienda. It's a lot better to do there. But the second and most important reason is because of the fact that you're gonna need those canals, and that all of the islands are very different shapes. They have a lot of rivers, etc. Stamps are not gonna really cut it. If you want to optimize this production, you're gonna need to do it a bit more manually. Now the good news is that I basically already did it for you a couple of years back. The only thing is that it doesn't have silos, fertilizer silos, because these didn't exist at the time, but you even have tractors, there is the fuel station, those type of things. I already did it in the series where we got more than 3 million scholars, and that save is actually available. I will put in the video description below, the video where you can find it. So you can load it, you can check it, you can create stamps out of this, and copy them into your other games if you want to. But that's why I didn't do stamps, with those spice farms, linseed, teff, etc. But what I did do is create another bonus stamps for you around the city. This is basically a big city in Enbesa. With this, you have everything. As you can see, we have quite a bit of population, and you even have the services that are needed for your elders. So if you don't want elders, you can just delete this monastery, for example, and just put more houses there. It's a easy rectangle, right? So that's easy to manage. There's police stations, there's the hospital, musician courts, everything is there, right? It's ready to go. So don't hesitate, anytime you start a new Enbesa island, you just put this stamp and you get going. Then you start putting production, right? I do suggest you put this in a place where it's not fertile, where maybe it's a bit further away from your river slots, right? So that you don't waste that space. But at the same time, Enbesa, I know that all of the islands are quite different shapes. So sometimes it's easy, sometimes hard. And as always, you can find them for free on my Discord community. Just go in the video description below, click on the link to join the Discord community if you're not a member yet, and you'll be able to find the Anno stamps channel with one zip file that will have all of those Enbesa, stamps. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.